Here's check-on stories we're following for you on Robin Hood Radio. Recently, at a Sharon Town Board meeting, the selectmen agreed to add 2 items to their 5-year capital plan. Jill Drew of the Sharon Connectivity Task Force spoke of a $30,000 that is proposed in the 2021-22 town budget to help fund an initial engineering plan to build out a fiber optic system in the town. She also informed the board that the task force has applied for a $60,000 grant from a federal program called Reconnect that would allow for taking the engineering firm plan one further step. By securing an engineering plan, Drew said the group could really get a substantial understanding of what the cost would be to wire the town with broadband. Now, members also put $300,000 up for renovation for the community center after hearing from Park and Recreation Director Matt Meddy. The building, which is located on Gay Street, has been a focus for a long time about its condition. Some updates were made a few years ago, but Meddy spoke of the need for a commercial kitchen, addition of air conditioning, some new windows, and reconfiguring some of the space. He said the first step would be to seek architectural drawings. Cornwall's town meeting approved 3 items on their agenda on Friday. First Selectman Gordon Ridgway explained about the Sidney K Fund, which townspeople were asked to merge into the town's endowment fund. K donated $20,000 to the town for use of good purposes in 1981. A board was set up to distribute funds, but the balance began to dwindle and now contains approximately $18,000. Transferring the funds to the endowment fund, which has $50,000, would allow it to earn more interest in the town to make more awards. The remaining members of the board agreed with the proposal. Ridgway said Kay's name will be noted in the endowment fund. Townspeople also voted unanimously to sell a 0.2-acre parcel in West Cornwall to William Betts for $500. The land formerly hosted the old firehouse. Betts purchased the adjacent Farnsworth building and needs the space for parking. Betts was given the opportunity to introduce himself. An artist and property developer came to Cornwall as a student 40 years ago and has just returned. He also purchased the former Utzler store across the street. Quoting here, "I'm excited to be part of a revitalization of the area." End quote. In his Monday update on the pandemic, Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont announced that 66% of all adults in the state aged 16 and above have received at least 1 dose of vaccine. Among the most vulnerable groups, people 65 and older, that percentage grows to 90%. Furthermore, 35% of the state's adult population is now fully vaccinated. Connecticut continues to rank among the best states in terms of vaccine distribution. In Connecticut, the 2020 census means new districts in Connecticut. The committee begins work. It's a bipartisan committee of state legislators. They started work this week on redrawing legislative and congressional district maps based on the 2020 U.S. Census. The 8-member reapportionment committee elected Representative Gregory Haddad of Mansfield and Senate Minority Kevin Kelly of Stratford as co-chairman during an organizational meeting. Every 10 years, congressional and legislative districts must be redrawn following the latest federal census. Overdoses are surging in Columbia County. From Columbia Green Media, the number of suspected overdoses in that county has increased by about 64% this year. The Columbia County Department of Health said yesterday there have been 36 suspected overdoses in the county between January 1st and April 23rd. During the same period in 2020, there were 22 suspected overdoses in the county. The drug supply in the area is increasingly containing fentanyl, according to Greener Pathways Program Director Carl Quinn. The Supreme Court agreed on Monday to hear an appeal to expand gun rights in the United States. In a New York case over the right to carry a firearm in public for self-defense, the case marks the court's first foray into gun rights since Justice Amy Coney Barrett came on the board in October, making a 6-3 conservative majority. The justices said they'll review a lower court ruling that upheld New York's restrictive gun permit law. The court's action follows mass shootings in recent weeks in Indiana, Georgia, Colorado, and California. The case probably will be argued in the fall. Hartford Healthcare is hosting a dedicated student vaccine clinic for Housatonic Valley Regional High School. That will be held at the Torrington Armory on South Main Street from 3 until 6 p.m. In Sharon, the Board of Selectmen have their meeting. That will be at 5:30. Weebatuck High School, the Central School District Board of Education meeting. The BOCES vote will be held at the high school library at 7 p.m. Pine Plains Central School District has their BOCES budget vote at 7 p.m. Dover Union Free School District Board of Education meeting at 7 p.m. In Cornwall, the Economic Development Commission has a Zoom meeting at 7:30. Coming up on Wednesday, Salisbury, the Planning and Zoning Commission has a meeting at 5:30. In Sheffield, the virtual meeting for the Planning Board on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Dover Town Board meeting is on Wednesday as well. On Thursday, Hillsdale, New York, special town board meeting at 7 p.m. to discuss strategies for grants for Hamlet Park and funding for the feasibility study. The Zoom ID is 890-0853-841. Douglas Library in North Canaan currently displaying artworks by members of the Canaan Art Guild, a long-established group that has been meeting weekly. The wide range of subjects go from floral paintings to landscape and jazz-inspired mixed media. The hours of the show at the library: Mondays 1:30 to 8, Wednesdays 10 to 8, Friday from 10 to 5, Saturday from 10 to 1. The show wraps up on Saturday. On Saturday, First Saturday Giving. Make donations to the Grange at the Conic Hill School District Emergency Supply Closet. Personal care and household items such as toothbrush, soap, shampoo, laundry, detergent, the Milk Can Fund, loose change to build a fund to help address community needs, or the Rojan Food Pantry, non-perishable food items. More information, contact Peggy Lewis at plewispok@gmail.com or Rita Jabkowski at rlj304@gmail.com. On Saturday at 1 o'clock, a community cleanup day at the Recreation Center in Falls Village, put on by the Falls Village Recreation. Volunteers are needed. For more information, contact Emily at recreation@canaanfallsvillage.org. On Saturday at 2 p.m., join environmental educator Shamu Sadeh for an in-person walk exploring the springtime forest, learning about wildflowers, edible plants, and forest ecology, being hosted by the D.M. Hunt Library in Falls Village. More information at 860-824-7424 or huntlibrary.org or their Facebook page. Our business brief is underwritten by Morgan's at the Interlaken and interlakenin.com. You'll also find them on Facebook and Instagram. Also, Salisbury Bank and Trust, salisburybankandtrust.com, and Viale Insurance, 75 Main Street in Lee, insuring seasonal and secondary homes in the Berkshires since 1912, 413-243-0347. On the web, vialeinsurance.com. The Dow Jones Industrial Average will start off the day at 33,981.57, the Nasdaq at 14,138.78, and the S&P 500 at 4187.62. We'll take a look at the tri-state forecast. That'll come your way in just a few minutes.